Hey, how's it going? This is Melinda and welcome to my channel. Today, I'm going to talk to you about your vinyl collection. We are going back to basics and we're talking about the 10 steps that I personally recommend to ensure you have an amazing vinyl collecting experience. Now, I've been collecting vinyl for a few years now, actually several years. Many of you have been collecting even longer than me. Some of you are brand new into vinyl collecting. Please pay attention to these 10 steps. And you seasoned vinyl collectors, if you have more steps to add, please leave them in the comments below. But for me, these are the 10 must-do steps that I think will really add to the enjoyment of vinyl collecting. If you're not a subscriber to my channel, please subscribe, hit the like button and the notification bell. And let's go ahead and get started with number one. First and foremost, and probably the most awkward conversation I will have when it comes to vinyl collecting, your stereo equipment. First off, don't go out if you're new with vinyl collecting and spend a fortune on stereo equipment, because for most of us, when we start out, we don't know if it's a phase that we will decide is not for us and eventually quit, or if vinyl collecting is something we're going to want to do the rest of our lives. We have no idea. So don't invest big money into a stereo equipment from the very get-go. Having said that, before you buy a Crosley suitcase turntable, go to estate sales, go to flea markets, go to garage sales. Let your friends and family know you are interested in vinyl collecting and you need a turntable and stereo equipment. When I got started, my husband went to an estate sale. He found a very nice vintage Pioneer turntable from the 80s for $25. He brought it home, he cleaned it up, changed the stylus. From there, I just grabbed a couple speakers that we had at home. They weren't name brands, they weren't anything fancy, but they did the job. And I also used a receiver that we had been using a while back for a theater room. That was my stereo equipment in the very beginning, and it served me very well. Now that I've been collecting for a long time, I know this is going to be a lifelong pursuit for me, and I've been upgrading my stereo equipment. So that's my advice to you. If you already have the Crosley suitcase type of turntable, good for you. That's what my daughter started out with. But just know that your vinyl can sound even better. And if this becomes something you know you want to do long term, invest in very good stereo equipment. At number two, I think this is so important. Protect your records with record sleeves. So you want to go ahead first and foremost and protect your vinyl itself. These are really nice anti-static sleeves. You can buy different ones. Some are more expensive than others. Get anti-static sleeves, because a lot of times when you buy new records or old records, they are placed in paper sleeves, and that paper disintegrates over time, leaving little particles of dust that gets on your records and in those grooves, and they do leave surface noise. Also, some of the records have cardboard inner sleeves that, as you take them in and out of those cardboard sleeves, will leave surface scratches, and you don't want that for your vinyl. You want to keep your vinyl in as pristine condition as possible. So I say definitely buy inner sleeves for your records. And while you're at it, go ahead and invest just a little bit more. It doesn't cost a lot. Get the outer sleeves to protect your album covers. I know that that's subjective. Some people don't care about the album covers, they care about the vinyl. I personally like having the outer sleeves for protection. As you pull your records in and out of your vinyl shelves, it creates friction and it creates damage on your album covers. I also know of someone who had their grandchild over. Their grandchild got a hold of a bleach product that they use for cleaning house, sprayed it all over the place, got all over their vinyl records. But thankfully, they had these plastic sleeves to protect the album covers, and that bleach product left no damage on their record album covers. So I just think it's really important that you invest in record sleeves. Number 3, clean your records. This is so important for the enjoyment of listening to vinyl. Old records have old dirt and grime deep in those grooves. Some pressing plants are kind of dirty and they leave residue behind as well. Have you ever opened a new record to see greasy fingerprints or dust? Get all of that off of your records before you start playing them. You don't have to spend a fortune to clean your records. There are so many different ways. You can go on YouTube, you can find videos of how people clean their vinyl records on the cheap. You can buy vinyl record cleaning machines. You can even go for the expensive ultrasonic vinyl cleaning machines. Either way, clean your records. You will not regret it. It will eliminate all of the surface noise, or at least a lot of it. You'll just be astonished at the difference cleaning your records makes. At number 4, open up a Discogs account. It is a great way to keep track of your records. You can get your records, put them in your Discogs library. You have your own personal collection on Discogs. You can get the Discogs app on your phone, and you instantly have a list of every record you buy. Thankfully, I started my Discogs account when I started collecting. You don't want to get 1,000 records and then open your Discogs account, although I still recommend you getting one, even if you're in that situation. Starting earlier makes it a lot easier. You want to just put in those records as you go. The Discogs app is so amazing because you can take it with you on your phone. You can go to a record store, and believe it or not, after you've been collecting for a while, you're going to forget, do I already have that record in my collection or not? I'm pretty good at remembering the albums I have, but sometimes I forget what 45s or singles I have. And that's when I can look up on my Discogs app what I already have in the collection, and it saves me time, money, headache, because I'm not buying multiple copies of the same record. Also, the Discogs app is a wealth of information when you're in record stores. You can, with that Discogs app, scan a barcode, put numbers that are in the dead wax of a record. If it's old and doesn't have a barcode, you can put that in and you can instantly get some information about that record. So I highly recommend at number 4, getting a Discogs account started. At number 5, properly store your records. Keep them on a shelf vertically like this. Keep them out of direct sunlight. Avoid putting them in rooms that there's humidity in the air or possible leaks in your ceiling. You don't want that moisture coming in and ruining your album covers. If you've ever been to a garage sale or a flea market and you see mold on records, water damage, that's why those records have the water damage. They were exposed to a high humidity room. And also, keeping them out of the direct sunlight, you can avoid vinyl warps. So just really keep them in a dry area, free of the sun, and also keep them stored vertically. At number 6, you want to start buying the records you really love and know you want to have in your collection, and then you can start building upon that. Get the records you really love. Get the artists in your collection that you really love. Don't worry about whether you think your records are cool or not, or what other people are going to think about your record collection. I personally have Air Supply, Barry Manilow, different records in my collection that some people would say are uncool. But you know what? When I put those records on, I am drawn back to a time with my mom. My mom loved Air Supply. She loved Barry Manilow. Those records are important to me. They're sentimental to me. So I highly recommend, don't worry about what other people are collecting. Build what you love first. And then, after you have your core collection, start taking chances and buying from different artists and maybe different genres you've never had before. So, at number 6, just buy the records you really love. And now let's move on to number 7. Buy records that are in really good condition. It's very tempting when you see a record you've been looking for a long time to go ahead and buy it. But if there's a lot of scratches on it, scratches you can feel with your fingers, avoid them. Don't buy records that look bad, because in the end, you're going to be very unhappy with what you hear when you put it on the turntable. Rice Krispies are for breakfast. They're not for your turntable. You don't want the snaps, crackles, and pops that come with heavily scratched records. And I know from experience, it breaks your heart to have to put a record you really want back and not buy it. But in the long run, you'll be very happy that you put it back, because if it sounds bad, you're not going to listen to it anyway. So again, at number 7, buy records that are in really good condition. At number 8, just accept this. You're going to make mistakes. I have made so many record buying mistakes. I have bought records that had warps. I have bought records that when I got them home, I realized the record album cover is not the same as the record inside. Somewhere along the lines, the wrong record got in the wrong album cover, and I've bought some of those. You're gonna make mistakes. Learn from those mistakes, forgive yourself, and move on. At number 9, this is one that I have a lot of trouble sticking to, but it's so important. Have a budget for how much you're going to spend on your records and stick to it. You know, there is a part of me that says when you see a record you have never seen before and it's something you've been wanting, buy it, because you may never see it again. But the more practical advice is have a budget and stick to it. If you have a discretionary income of $100 that you can spend on vinyl records, don't spend $150 or $200. You'll end up going into debt over vinyl records. You will disappoint your family. You will create anger and resentment. It's not worth it. Stick to a budget that you can be comfortable with. And if you see a record that you have never seen before that you're wanting in your collection, hopefully it's when you still have the money for it. If you don't have the money for it, it's not worth getting yourself into debt over. That will quickly zap the enjoyment you have in vinyl collecting. Going into debt is not worth it. And at number 10, we all love to go to record stores. The thrill of the hunt is so exciting, but take the time to enjoy the records you already have. I love that records can have great memories. You can put on a record and be transported into time from when you were a kid or a teenager, something special in your life. And it's also a great memory when you put on a record. You think, okay, I bought that a year ago when I was on vacation and we went to this certain record store at this certain state, and what a great memory. Revisit those records. Go back to the records you bought 6 months ago, a year ago. Put the phone down, get your favorite beverage, stop shopping for records for a while, and enjoy the records you already have. And congratulate yourself on the incredible record collection you've already built. So, if you follow those 10 steps, I think you are going to love your vinyl record buying experience. And again, if there's anything else you can add to the conversation, leave it below in the comments. I really appreciate it. Please subscribe to my channel, and thank you for watching. Happy vinyl collecting, and I will see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.